that turns off when the lights turn off. You know, you could have it to where the heat's running all the time, but I just have it that way. So, and as I said before, we separated these out. Now, when you first do the seeds, you're going to go ahead and use. You can do dry soil, ma'am.
How long do you use that? Do you use that after the seedling mat? Do you use it after you transplant it, or just when they're really small, like first starting out?
Once they're like maybe this size, I mean, I tend to kind of do it until they're, you know, once they got big, they're fine. I think they don't really need it anymore. The main thing is for the germination.
Okay.
When we're doing our seeds, we're going to use wet soil, and we're going to mix some soil up, and we're going to do our planting. But normally when you water, this is after that, you can water it two basic ways. One way, of course, is to, you know, water like this, just water it from the top. However, a more efficient way of doing it is, that's why you need this, unless you just want water all over. You'll just, you know, go right in there and water that.
That's our bird, by the way, just so y'all know.
Yeah, he's got a front row seat right here.
He's listening at us.
And I go like maybe, you know, not even, by the way, you're not going to go full because it's going to be like majorly wet. I mean, you're just going to go just a little bit, like probably not even, this is relative depending on how you're doing it, but, you know, just a little bit. Because what's going to happen is it's going to use a physics principle called capillary action, or wicking. It's going to wick upward. It's going to suck the water up. So I don't have a demo of that today, but you could just do that and you'll see that it's drying on top, but come back in an hour or so and you'll see that it's darker. It's already took that time and come up. So I discovered that if you grease the engine a little bit, in other words, go ahead and, you know, spray the top, like if I was going to water this, you can either just do it like how I've been doing it, where I just put the water in, or, you know, I'll go ahead and wet the top of the surface. It seems if you use this kind of way of watering it, and you don't have to use one of these are just nice. You could use like just a regular, you know, a pitcher or cup or whatever. Beer pop. It seems that the water goes down quicker if the top of the surface is a little wet. So that's yet another reason why you would have this. So, I mean, if you do this long enough, in fact, so you can go, but you can also go, I'll do it over. You can go, but you can also go, see the difference? When you go, more is coming out because it's staying open longer. I'll wet your door there. By doing that, you're getting more in there. So quite literally, you could kind of water it with this if you want to, because it's eventually, you know, going to soak down and all that. Okay, so let's do our thing here. The part you're finally waiting for. Yes, the actual seed planting. I already had it done and ready. Again, you know, these are $1 at the Dollar Tree. You know. So what you have is just the regular plain mix. It is not wet, but it's going to be. Like I said, we're going to do it with the key word here is moist cake. That's the consistency that you want it. Moist cake. Nice fluffy moist cake. You don't want it drippy and water standing and all that. So If you feel you overdid it, then just, of course, just put more soil in it. So you want it, pretty much to where it has the feel of a really, really, really moist cake, where it's kind of balling up like that. And again, this is a way. Again, why do you need this? Almost had enough, but that's okay. Pretty close. And notice that I didn't push down. You want to keep it relatively loose. Some people say you should kind of push it down a little bit because you don't really want a whole lot of air and air bubbles in there when you're doing it. But I just, you want to give it a little pat, that's fine. And of course we have our hole tools, remember? Now you can use your fingers, it's fine. Just after you find out how deep you want to do it, you can kind of do your fingers, it's fine, totally. Now if you're going to do, you can go ahead and do one per cell, which is fine. I kind of tend to maybe say, well, I really need a lot of them. I want one per cell no matter what. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in. And what I do for that is, now all these came up. You may or may not have noticed, they're on opposite sides of the cell. If you're going to put in 2, do them on the opposite sides. That way, when you're going to be having the wonderful chore of trying to separate them, you're going to be doing less damage. So, one on either side. But if you're only doing one, you're only doing one. I'm trying kale this year. This is kale. All right. We got our markers. Now there is another way of doing this, which is different. Now, of course, I'm making a hole, which means I got to drop that seed right in there.
So you going 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch down?
Yeah, about 1/4. It's better to go too shallow than too deep, but if you're off a little bit, it's okay. They're not going to really, if you go way deeper, then that'll affect it. So we've got our holes here. By the way, here's a really neat kind of thing that you can do. Let's say you don't really want to do the holes. I learned this from somebody. If you have some extra one of these, there's your holes. Cool, huh? They're big holes, but there's your holes. So you're using the extra thing. So whatever way you want to do it, just when in doubt, read the instructions. And
you cover them up afterwards?
Yep. Now you may find actually rare situations where they say barely cover, or actually it's going to sound weird, but you'll quite literally just leave them on the top. It's weird. They will actually, some of them actually need sunlight to germinate. I don't know, I couldn't tell you offhand what those are. I want to say celery or something like that, but I'll just do these. These are purple cone flowers. And it's pretty straightforward at this point. You're just, I haven't really played with those, you know, they have those little things, the plastic things that help you do the seeds and stuff. I could not tell you whether those work or not. I don't use them, you know. If they work for you, great. You want to try them out, you know. By the way, the stores are starting to get, I went to Lowe's and Walmart on the way home yesterday, and the Christmas stuff is out, and the seeds are coming in. They've got their order in, so that's the good news. Is they, you know, all the seeds are starting to come in, so we're ready to go. And pretty straightforward, you know. You just don't do this when you're in a hurry. Like, well, did I really put one in there? I don't know.